Yeah. Bro code.
Bro code, we in new modes, and we do it better sticking together. Won't bend, won't fold. No, I got your back through whatever weather, rain, sleet, or snow. Making profit while we get to the cheddar. We in that mode, you know if we got a problem, we pull up in that jet, fit fall on my bros. Collective like the colors in the rainbow. All of that talking you did on the net, we know that you only did it for a post. If I pull up then I get in the check, I need me like 500K for a show, or maybe more. And I got all of the stars in the ceiling cause we in a row. Yeah, just for the bros, brothers forever, so you know we got each other back. We aiming for gold, sticking together, careless about the weather, we never slack. Gotta stick to the code. Bro code, we in new modes, and we do it better sticking together. Won't bend, won't fold. No, I got your back through whatever weather, rain, sleet, or snow. Making profit while we get to the cheddar. They know we are.
Merry Christmas! It's your boys from Bro. Welcome back, guys. Big shout out to all our fans, all of our followers. Thank y'all so much. We are really enjoying the love that you guys are giving us by watching our shows, our episodes. Really appreciate you guys. We're back in the building. We're in the Christmas spirit, as you see.
Yes, sir. We got Santa Coop on the set.
Santa Coop. Yeah, we know this is the time of the year where everybody's enjoying family and everything like that. So we actually wanted to get this episode out before the Christmas holiday.
Yes, sir.
And just, express gratitude to all of our followers and our fans and everything like that. So we'll jump into it, guys. We're here to talk about, the topic today is, should my kids have influence on who I date next?
Ooh.
Should my kids, or should kids, have influence on who you date next?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say it depends.
Okay.
So, in the words of my boy Rico, if she around him, then I don't think it really matters.
Gotcha.
Okay, if she around them, it really shouldn't matter, because if she around them, she ain't gonna be around long.
Right.
Now, if it's somebody that I'm feeling, and I feel like we got a chance to really go deep with it and go further out with it, and I'm feeling her or whatever, then to me, I got all girls. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at how you're gonna vibe with them. I'm saying, what type of, if you got kids yourself, what type of mother you are to your own kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely taking into consideration that before I even bring you around my kids.
Yeah. Okay.
And then on top of that, now when you with my girls, I'm trying to see how you vibe. Are you that type of person that I feel like, if it's something that goes down, being a father of girls, they don't always come to you and tell you everything, because they know you're gonna basically overact, and y'all know how my emotions get sometimes, the passion and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be deep in it. So therefore, it's good to have somebody around that they can basically go to, that can come to me and say, hey, babe, listen, before you get all mad and stuff, just listen to me, and, rub my head a little bit or something, calm me down, and then break it down to me. And then before I go talk to my girls, I'm like, you know what, well, thank you for telling me that. I can go and speak with them on that. Right. So to me, that matters, because, dealing with all girls, you want to have somebody that they feel like can be their mom outside the mom, or a big sister figure, or some type of female figure that they feel like they can confide in, because like I said, being a father of girls, they ain't gonna tell you everything.
Right. So the dating scene, man, the dating scene is, it's a thing, right? So there's a lot of singleness that's going on right now. Rico, definitely. Shouts out to you. You're married. Man, that's a blessing, stay there, because it's a thing, man. So, this dating game, some people take it serious, some people don't, So this episode, this conversation that we're having is for those who are really considering, a second chance at love or another chance at love, and really want something with somebody. So what I would like to do is really just kind of, because that question, should my kids have influence on who I date next?
So what did he say? He said, is it yours or yes?
No, I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would say yes.
So let's go down that column. Yes or no. So let's go down yes.
Yeah, I would say to a degree. I don't know if that's kind of in between.
Okay. No, that's good.
But like if you got older kids, especially, young kids or older kids, but, I'm gonna say they Google power is serious, right?
Right.
So you going out there, you date somebody, and you tell your son he 15, 16 years old, and he knows her name, right? he Googled it.
You're gonna do a little research.
Yeah, you don't want no funny stuff popping up.
right, right,
So,
right.
You know what I mean?
Age is important. Age is
You know
important.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So the funny stuff pop up, right? And then
Yeah.
let's say you get serious with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now you might have it where his friends come over, and then they Google Power is serious too.
Right.
And they said, "Oh man, your daddy dating this right now."
Right.
I'm about to say, so with this Google Power, what are we looking? What results are coming back?
Right. Exactly.
Because the way you talk,
OnlyFans.
got some favorable results.
OnlyFans.
Right. All that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? As adults, like when you're putting yourself out there, whether you're a man or a woman, man,
Right.
you can be found.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like, what do you want these people to see, and then what do you want to know? What do you want your kids to know that you like? What direction you going?
Yeah.
Right?
Go.
So it's kind of, it can't be a yes and no. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, one of the reasons I would say yes is, if your kids, so hypothetically, if you've had your kids around that person, maybe not in a dating situation, but the kids know of this person, and you know that they have a good relationship, no matter what age, young child, older child, preteen, if that connection is good, that may have a bearing on, if you want to move forward with something serious with that person. So I think the relationship between the new mate, potential new mate, and the child is very important.
My dad is dating the mayor of Atlanta or whatever, right? That sounds good, right?
Right.
Oh, my dad is dating, you know what I'm saying? This lady that's at Magic City.
Right. Like, daddy, what are you doing?
Not that there's anything wrong.
Right.
So listening to you talk, it's like you in between.
Well, he said that.
But no, let me throw a scenario at you because with you, we know you happily married, so we have to throw you in scenarios for the truth to come out.
Why y'all always trying to get this man in trouble?
No,
Let this man live.
No, we ain't trying to get him in trouble. We want him to stay married. But what I'm saying is, let's just say something happened. And let's just say y'all have to take a break, okay?
Yeah.
And it's a little
take
longer.
a break. We splitting it.
Well, I mean, some people split and come back.
Okay.
So it just depends on the relationship. But let's just say y'all split for a little while or whatever, and both of y'all start dating somebody. Okay, at that point, what kind of woman would you want around RJ? Or what kind of man would you basically expect for her to basically want around RJ?
I mean, well, first of all, if I feel that the relationship is going somewhere, then I would be ready to introduce that lady to RJ, right? But then she's gonna be of a certain it's gonna be some status, right? It's not gonna be like
A random.
Right?
Yeah,
It ain't gonna be random,
Not gonna be a random.
And then she has to be, respectful, right? Because I feel as if you put yourself out there a certain way and people can find information about you, right? And it's gonna be negative, right? And so now I don't want him to be at school if it comes back around and then now he's being made fun of or people talk about him or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then now he fighting. Why are you fighting, son?
They're talking about stepmom.
Then I'm like, okay. Then I gotta figure out how to fix that, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
You definitely want somebody that has genuine love and care for that child, because there's some people, man, where they, they're all about themselves. Sometimes,
Selfish.
you talk about selfish and selfless, it's hard enough just being in a relationship. Now, when you throw other factors in there, i.e. kids, that selfishness can really show,
So I'm gonna say yes and no.
Okay.
And these are my two yeses and nos. If the kids are of a younger age, I would definitely say yes, because if you're entertaining that person, you're looking to get married, and you're gonna have them around them every day. Right. Because that's where y'all are, right?
Yep.
That's gonna potentially be a problem if they don't have a good vibe with each other, a good chemistry, right?
Really big
Because then
problem.
you will be the recipient of that.
You're gonna be the referee.
From both,
You're gonna be the referee. You're gonna be the
it'll be a
mediator.
constant referee, and it'll be from both
like,
sides.
you can't date nobody that say they don't like kids.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
a perfect example. So
Yeah.
if they don't like kids and then they come in with you, but they like you,
Yeah.
and the kid, even though you have your kids part-time,
Right.
that when you had a kid, that's not gonna work for them.
Exactly.
And that's gonna cause problems for y'all because,
right.
but she already told you.
Yep.
If the kids are older, no. Because
doesn't-
as a parent, you've already given up a good piece of your life, right?
Yeah.
Most parents.
Yeah.
And I mean that from the perspective of it's been all about your kids since they've been in the world. Like,
That's right.
Whatever sports they had, extracurricular stuff, school,
Yep.
like you've been at their every beck and call, right?
Exactly.
Your oldest son is how old?
My oldest son is 26 now.
Oh, so yeah, he definitely know. It's
Right. So
Yeah, but when you say older, I'm saying as low as 15. 15, 16, that child really has an understanding of who he is, the
Right.
situation, you know, so I mean, a 15-year-old could be ready to say, you know what,
Nah, but
it doesn't matter.
Nah, but is his boys, is his friends ready? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't like 15.
Everybody don't have Google Power, man.
But I mean, I'm just saying that's
Wait,
one scenario.
wait, what do you mean? Is it boys ready?
Like at 15 or 16 years
Yeah.
old, right?
Yeah.
If I'm your son, I'm 15,
Okay.
right? And then I found out you my father, you dating, you know, she has OnlyFans, maybe because I'm older, I'd have been on there, you
Right.
don't even know,
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you know, I see you down, I was like, man, I done seen her somewhere before, and I go.
And you know what I'm gonna say, son? Daddy gotta live. This works for daddy.
But I'm saying, but then,
because I probably
but now I go to school or whatever, and my friends are doing the same thing, right? And then that old come to me and be like, yo, man, your daddy girl on here, you know, I'm gonna get a, you know what I'm saying? And then now he clowning me or talking about like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, do you ever sneak in there? Anything, any kind of thing
Right.
can cause some, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because those are some 15, 16 high school years.
Yeah.
And then as kids can be mean.
So
right?
let me tell you. So we said yes, but let me tell you where it could kind of backfire a little bit.
Okay.
When it's yes. Okay. And I'm talking from experience. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you where it can probably backfire. If you meet somebody that's worthy or whatever, and it don't work, now they're attached to the kid. So if you try to move on, because with girls, I'm trying to tell you, you have to be careful because when they get clingy on you, then that name that they clinging to comes out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay. So you might be like, hey, this is Miss Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, she don't look like Miss Sonya. I'm like, no. So who is Miss Sonya? Well,
That's
no,
right.
You know,
That's a good point, man.
my story, but
That's a good point. That's why you gotta know this is the person you're gonna deal with.
So to avoid that from happening, what is the criteria for you to be dating someone and then now you say, okay, I want you to meet my daughter?
right.
Well, you have to. I think with that, you have to make sure you and the kid have the understanding of the fact that you dating and who you dating. Right. Okay. And once you get that understanding, you got to also let kids, because these days you have to break stuff down to kids. Listen, okay, just because you meet her today, don't necessarily mean she's gonna be here tomorrow. But while she's here, you to respect her, and basically, you know, if she does something that's basically that you're not fond of, then come to dad and let me know, and I'll handle that.
But what,
at the
again,
same
you're gonna be the
time-
mediator.
Right.
Yeah.
At the same time.
But at what point when you dating this chick, at what point you say, okay, I think it's gonna progress like for real.
Right.
Now I'm gonna introduce you to, so you can avoid all that. But what's your criteria? Like, at what point do you say this is the one?
For me, it would definitely be like
6 month area.
No, it can't
Not
be,
a time. Not a time.
Okay, not a time.
Not a time, man.
if I'm looking at her like, okay, this finna be wifey, and maybe in my mind I'm like, I'm finna propose to her.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
What's your criteria? If you was
because to me, like, again, like I grew up in that scenario with the relative that always brought various random women home.
Right,
And, you
right,
know, I was that kid that was like, well, Miss such and such, because I done got attached to her because she was a loving, caring person.
Yeah.
So I done blew the spot up, and I didn't even know I done blew the spot up because I'm a kid, right?
Right.
So to me, I always said in my dating life, like my kids never met. You know, I think they met one, and it was like one of those freak situations.
Right.
The entire time.
Yeah.
But everyone that I dated, they knew about them because I was very involved, and I had pictures. And
Oh, your kids knew about them?
No.
The
they
girl knew about
the kids. Yeah, they knew about my kids.
Yeah.
But to me, like, this is just my criteria. Like, I'm not bringing you, especially at a younger age, unless you're going to be a permanent fixture.
Right.
Because if you're not, what's the point?
Right.
Just to say you met them?
Yeah.
Just to say, oh, this is a societal norm, like we're just introduced. That's the craziest thing to me because you're not going to be a permanent fixture in their life.
And so you speaking from, like firsthand.
Yeah, just like firsthand. Because like.
And so for you, like how many women have met your kids?
Probably two.
Just two.
But I was in long-term relationships with them. So, like I said, in both of them, I would consider marrying both of them. You know, so like I said, basically one thing with me is the fact that if I'm gonna have my kids, like you can only basically be away from that person if you're in a relationship. Be away from for such as okay, listen, I got my kids this weekend. I see you next weekend. Eventually, that's gonna get old. Okay, so now the question gonna come up. Okay, well, why we just can't do stuff together?
Right.
So now you want to meet the kids, but you might be like, well, well, okay, I'm not good enough for your kids. So it's gonna all these questions.
Right.
So now, at what point? Because my thing is, me personally, I feel like I want to see the experiment early, then late. Basically, what I mean by that is, okay, I'm gonna bring you around my kids, see how things go, see how y'all interact. See what kind of friction is there. Either you gonna like her or she gonna like you, whatever the case may be. Because my kids are very, I'm saying verbal. They're gonna tell me, you know, Daddy, nah, I don't like that.
See, you brought up a good point. So back to your question, like, you know, criteria, right? So for me, you know, after being in a failed relationship, failed marriage, one of the things, you look back, right? Okay, Alan, what could I have done better when it comes to relationships, right? One of the things I didn't do is have like, ask the hard questions, you know, in the dating period with my ex-wife, you know, finances, religion, you know, child rearing. She already had a child, right? So those questions, like, yeah, we had fun dating, but the hard questions or the hard conversations, we didn't really have, you know? So a criteria for me would be having those hard conversations, right? You know, how do you feel about, okay, I get my kids every other weekend, or how do you feel about, you know, being in their life? You know what I'm saying? Just having that understanding, those conversations, finances, everything like that, because finances take a toll.
Or you getting your kids every weekend, she ain't got no kids. If y'all together and you got to work a weekend, how she feel about keeping them?
Right,
exactly.
So, I mean,
those are hard conversations you got to have.
That's why I say this. With me, the experiment is early because suppose I need you to keep them. Suppose I need you to watch them. But also, we got to understand also is the way that the person is also when you judging this person. I ain't gonna say I don't want to use the word judging. But most so when you with this person, you watching this person, the kids are watching that person. So you don't want to bring no woman around your kids who, like I said, always griping and complaining, nagging, like all this stuff that's just, no, and now we see watching your dad, like I'm talking about, see how my daddy gonna handle that. So then if your daddy being laid back and they're not doing nothing, the first thing she thinking, well, you know, if she did this to my daddy, it must be cool, so I should be able to do that to the next man. No.
But well, here's the thing with kids, and we're talking like, we'll say 10 and under maybe.
Yeah, like elementary,
and
middle.
We'll even give a couple of 11 or 12, right? Most of the time, if they see you with a woman, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take to that woman just based off of your
that's right.
decision,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
And they'll be cool with her, and it'll be completely fine, right? Where that issue might come in is if you know, you're divorced and the ex sees that they
gravitate towards.
Right, because when they go home, they're going to be talking about it.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's automatically going to create friction because now she's going to be mad. Why you got my kids around? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so to me, I feel like going back to something you said a few minutes ago, I feel like you have to protect your kids, right? Because that's what we are. We're protectors. We protect our kids. So in doing that, even though it's a woman, you don't, until you like fully know her, because you said like 6 months. Like you don't know nobody in 6 months.
No.
Like I talked to somebody for like a year, and they didn't even start showing the type of person they were until like that last, 8, 9.
And
10.
I'm gonna be the devil's
So
advocate.
you don't know.
We start talking about a year, right?
Yeah.
Your year time could be similar to his 6 months, depending on how the frequency of talking, the frequency of being together, right? Because you might be like, oh, it was a year, but I only saw like twice a month.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And then he was like every day.
Yeah.
Maybe we worked together, and then we were going to lunch together, and doing all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of like it went a lot faster from than that year that you had.
But that's still short. That still ain't long enough. 6 months, you ain't learning nothing. You don't even know.
Not really. You really
in 6
not.
months, listen, the average dude when dating in 6 months, you can't even go order for that woman. You can't even go order food for that woman.
Yeah, you don't have her size memorized. You really don't.
I know people to meet somebody first.
It depends.
They got married in 2 months.
Right, it depends.
He met a friend of mine.
Well,
They still together?
No. They ain't say all that.
So I think we really hit like the yes column, right? So let's talk about some no's, like why it should be an absolutely no, So it's like some people would say, adults need to be adults and make adults decisions, right?
I would say yes.
Doesn't matter about them kids. I think there's a tag going out now like, if them kids,
all day, every day.
And
twice on Sunday.
Right,
So we said a hard no if they don't like kids.
if they don't like kids, a hard no if they don't like kids for sure.
Hard no, that's hard.
What's another no?
Just say it.
You know what? I would agree on that because I could say I was in a situation where I thought we was good. So I'm putting all the time and energy into working in. But it seems like, and I think it's a good topic that you picked because it actually goes a little deeper than just that because so many people are single and don't want to date because the people who they're attracted to and they like have kids that causes issues.
Yeah.
And the situation I was in, literally, basically, I felt like your son was more of your man than I was. So I'm like, okay, like I'm trying to make you happy. You want to be happy, but what he feels matters to you more importantly. So how you gonna ever be with any man if your son dictates who you choose?
Haven't you heard that? It's like I've heard this that they say that some women is that when they're a single mom with boys or whatever or a boy, they tend to lean on their son like he's
the man of the house. The man,
treat them like they're
do all that kind of stuff on and that can cause some issues.
I have to remind my kids to
stay away from mama boys. I tell my daughters that like when you date, stay away from mama boys.
Yeah, it's important too. Kids need to be kids.
They do.
I'm a mama's boy too, but I'm a mama's boy. But hey,
I just don't feel like kids should influence adult decisions.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree.
And because they're kids, right? They haven't lived long enough to have a complete understanding.
Exactly. They haven't experienced love and relationships.
Experienced a lot of things.
Let me make a point to you. Reason why I say
and then they're immature.
Stay away from mama boys. Okay. You recently divorced.
Yeah.
You still married. Okay. On one of the show, you said one of the main criteria is your wife had to cook. Okay. You ain't miss no meal. So clearly she's doing everything basically that your mama was doing, right? So what an issue comes in is my question to you. My thing is, has your wife been that same level person like your mom? If you still be married, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't really want her to be like my mom.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying be like her.
If she had characteristics,
I'm saying characteristics treat you like she did. Okay? So that's why I said stay away from mama boys because you can't compete with that.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
So I'm a mama's boy. One of the things that my mom gave me growing up as a child is being in tune to me. Always being that person I could talk to about anything. Right. That's one characteristic you want to transition into a marriage. It has nothing to do with being a mama boy.
I think they set the foundation, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I'll just use this as an example. Mm-hmm. Church. Yeah. Like, we went to church, every Sunday we was in church as kids, right? Yeah. Cleaning up a house, cleanliness. Mm-hmm. That's another foundation they set, right? Being able to be self-sufficient and take care of yourself, right? Yep. It's good to have a wife to be able to do it, but if something happened to your wife, she's incapacitated, you still got it.
You still got it.
It's not gonna go lacking.
That's right.
So then, when you take those transferable skills, right, and they follow you as all up through, adolescence, teenage years, adult years, and then you come to this woman that you meet, and you decide to make her your wife, and she don't have the same type of foundation. Right. She don't really have a foundation. It's difficult. So you can't say stay away from mama's boys because most mama's boys, they have a foundation that they are living off of, which has allowed them to survive and become the men that they are. Well, so you can't say.
But listen, I agree with you to a certain extent, but these days I disagree with you. The reason why I say that because we old school. So therefore, growing up, my grandmother taught me how to sew, cook, clean, wash, all the stuff we know how to do. Can you honestly say these boys these days who mama literally baby them can do that? No.
Well, you got to think.
So my daughters are the age they're way younger as far as
So you're talking about the new school, mama boys.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I got
new school, like old school.
Well, most of them in like they 30s now, so they 20s.
That's a different, like,
they didn't even learn how to do that.
Half of them can't do nothing.
So they can't even boil hot dogs.
Going to a whole nother topic.
No, I'm just saying.
It's like kids having kids.
Yeah.
When you have a kid so young, you haven't learned enough to pass that on.
Yeah, that's true.
It depends on how you was raised.
But you're just talking about your grandma was raising you. Of course, your grandma gonna teach you how to cook. She gonna teach back then. They gonna teach you how to sew.
Yeah.
Right? If right now,
shouts out to Polly.
Yeah.
She's talking about building thread, my boy.
Like now, my wife ain't gonna teach RJ how to sew.
Why not?
She probably don't even know how to sew herself.
It's not even practical anymore for
I
most
mean,
people,
it
right?
depends.
Like now, you know what I'm saying? If I got to get something here, man, I go to the play, I throw it over there, pay them $10, and it's done, right? It's not.
It's easier now.
It's easier now. It's convenience.
Yeah, it's more
right?
convenient.
It wasn't like that back then, right?
Yeah.
So certain things, but you can't say you can still be a mama's boy and still have your dad in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So that's why we can go back to saying, like, it's always good to have both parents in the house because you're learning both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
You're getting sensitivity from your mom, you get the masculinity from your father.
Let's talk about some factors that may make that decision difficult, right? You know, in the way I kind of thought about this, I mean, you have direct factors, you know, just direct, and you have indirect, right? So I'll start off with a direct factor. You know, a direct factor that could, you know, make the decision hard is, you know, the new mate may be insecure about the time that you spend with your kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's a big, you know, that's like direct, like, whoa, I'm spending time with my kids and you got an issue with that, you know?
Most of that typically comes from, especially if they have kids, an absent father themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
A lot of that jealousy and envy
That is true.
comes from when they also have kids themselves and their, you know, partner.
I didn't think about that.
Or they see you go above and beyond for your kid
Right.
and that kid.
And again.
And then now you looking at it like, okay, yeah. I see,
Yeah.
And that's huge.
That is. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Do you expect a woman, like, say you meet a single mom and y'all are dating, right? She has to, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost, she got to take care of that kid because that may be all the kid has, right? So you dating her, but you can't expect her to take so much time away from her maybe her only child or her two kids or whatever.
Right.
And you can't be getting mad about it because she has to do this because she was left in that situation or how that situation came about, right? So you got to understand that, hey, you know what I'm saying, she had a responsibility that was there before you got there.
Right.
So it may be your job to adjust your expectations if this is what you want, if this is the situation you want to be in.
This one just hit me. I didn't even think about this one. I didn't even have this one in my notes, but this one just hit me as we're talking. You know, I can see, you know, someone really trying to get close to your kid. You know how they used to say food is the way to a man's, you know, heart, right?
What's the
way to, So you know, like, you know how you feel about your kids. You love your kids. You know, your kids, you everything, right? A woman sees that and builds that relationship with the kids to use that as leverage to keep you. You know,
or the same way for you.
Oh yeah,
right? You do it like if she has a son. And then you all into him, you know, inside there throwing the football with him. Hey, I'm gonna take him to practice. I'm gonna do all this kind of stuff. And you doing so much to where she like, man, I got to stay with him. I can't break loose because
I can see that happening.
Look at all this, you know what I'm saying? So you didn't work your way through through the son or the child.
A lot of coaches do that too.
I think dudes do that too. Like, listen, most single women, like, they doing a lot. Like, they working a full-time job. They dropping the kid off at school. They picking them up. They taking them to extracurricular activities. They picking them up.
Yeah, baby,
they
I got
taking them home and
cleats.
cooking. Yeah, I'll buy some cleats. I'll buy some equipment.
But here's the thing though. All that sounds good until
all what sounds good? What sounds good?
All the stuff you just named about what she does and you helping out with all that.
Okay.
All that sounds good until it's time to discipline the kid.
Ooh. That's another one.
Ooh, that's another one.
That's another one.
All that sounds good.
Yeah.
Until it's time when that kid is disrespectful to that mate. Now you like, okay, do I step in and discipline this kid because, hey, I didn't teach you that. At the same time, suppose you got to keep it up again. You're gonna keep allowing that to go on because you can't be there every time to correct that.
Right.
So at that point,
So here's my thing with that, and this is how I lived with my kids, right? Mm-hmm. If they're disrespecting you, that's your place to correct that. That's not my place.
Yeah.
And this is why. No, it's not. This is why.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with them disrespecting me because I laid the foundation and they have an understanding that don't fly over here. Mm-hmm. If I step in when they're disrespecting you, they know that the only thing you're gonna do is call me. You need to check that yourself because once you check it, you don't have to worry about it again.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about getting help because you've handled it.
Right.
And you can disagree with it, but that's fact.
I totally agree with that because that makes that relationship stronger, and that's what you want. You want your kids to have a relationship with that person, their own relationship
now
with that person.
we can present a unified front, and I can say, "Hey, don't do that." But when I'm not there and they do it again, ain't no more unified front. You standing on your own.
So what if the kid does it in front of the parent?
What you mean?
Like literally,
both parents or one parent?
So let me give you because this happened to me. So let me give you what happened.
Okay.
So literally, I was dating this chick, you know what I'm saying, and her daughter was disrespectful.
Okay.
I'm like, you need to handle that. She was like, well, I mean, that's just how she. No.
Okay, well, that's her problem.
No, listen.
No.
She was like, well, I think you should have no. You don't want me to handle it because the way I handle my kids is different from the way you handle your kids. Okay, because it had to be one of mine that did disrespect like that, I would have snatched them. But you don't want me to handle your kid like I handle my kid. So therefore, the fact that she did it in front of us, you should have handled that. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you did not do it, now my mindset is like, okay, this ain't gonna work.
And that actually adds more pressure to just say the father in this situation, right? So new stepmom doesn't want to discipline the kid, so now it's like that father has to be on double duty of disciplinary, right? It's like, okay, I like you said, you have your certain standard that you have with your kids. They understand they're not gonna cross that line.
Right.
You're not there, but now she's calling you when you're not there. Hey, can you discipline the kid? That's too much. That's too much pressure.
So again, one, that's not your place to correct somebody else's kid, especially if you're unmarried. I don't care if y'all been dating for 5 years. That's not your place.
Yeah.
That's her place. Because again, when you're not there and the kid is doing the same thing, how does that go down? Who taking care of that?
Right, that's my point.
Was she gonna call you? What if you unreachable?
No, what I'm saying, it was her kid.
I know what you said,
Right.
but my point to you is that's not your place.
No.
See, people get out of place when they're dating. They don't understand their place when they're dating.
No, what I told her
I dated
was,
this chick
you need to
for
handle
multiple
that.
years,
He
right?
told her she need to handle it.
Well, I told her she didn't handle it.
Yeah.
Right. She was like, no, you should. I said, no, you don't want me to handle it. That's your kid.
Right.
Because I would have handled it totally different from the way you handled it.
That shouldn't even been a comment. That should have just been, no, you need to handle that because that's your kid.
So I want to make sure we do, because I mean this topic, and it's actually like stirring up some conversation that we can go deeper in for real.
Yeah.
But I do want to stay on topic of should my kids influence who I date next? You know, so
absolutely not. No.
But you know what? Some people say that, like,
absolutely not. You know, because we're grown.
Right. But I still feel like I still feel like they matter, because if they're gonna be interacting with the person, then I'm not gonna say they should have a say so that has a whole lot of weight to it. But you want that peace of mind, knowing that if something happened and you have to leave Lil Johnny with Sarah, that Lil Johnny gonna be taken care of. You want that peace of mind.
You definitely want to start out on a good foundation.
Right. You want
definitely
that peace of
want to start.
mind.
Yeah.
I think that's a loaded question, because again, I mean, you can split it. You can say if they're at a certain age, under a certain age, and then they're over a certain age,
Yeah.
But I mean, if you got like a 16 or 17-year-old that's finna be out of your house and be
Right.
going off into the world.
Yeah.
Are you really gonna let them influence who
Nah,
you date?
it really shouldn't matter. It
You know
shouldn't
what
matter
I'm
at that
saying?
point.
Some people do. That's what
They're not gonna even be there to interact,
Yeah.
especially if they're either looking at
College or
going,
something.
the
Yeah,
college, military, or even moving out, getting their own place. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna even be around.
Yeah.
Some of them is older than that making influences.
No, man, that's
No,
ridiculous.
that's
Yeah.
hard.
I'm
That's
telling you this.
ridiculous.
Well,
Once you-
listen, I'm
once you-
telling
Like,
you.
you need to be an adult. Yeah, that person need to be an adult. Yeah,
I agree.
So let's go down the indirect, path. So what makes this, could make it difficult. You think about, the new mate possibly having, like really good morals and standards that really kind of will benefit your kids, especially younger kids, right? So when you talk about career, molding that child, helping that child, you talk about finances, a person that is, career minded, kids are going to benefit from it, right? They're going to see hard work in the household. They're going to see, okay, dad and new mom really working hard, so some of the things that really you should take heed to is how you and that person get along, right? Because now your kids are going to model that.
Well, that should matter even if you ain't had no kids in place. Like her financial situation and yours or whatever.
It's important, yeah.
Their status in the community or how they carry themselves.
Right.
So even if it was no kid, you should technically be looking at if you're looking for somebody for the future.
Right.
If you just, again, I ain't gonna say my word.
Right. No random.
Say it. That's your word, man. You gotta stay with it, man. You can't change it.
Truly, if this is one night stands or whatever, then all that kind of that's
All
out
right.
the door or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But if you got kids or if you don't have kids and you looking for something serious, it should be what type of career, like what's their standards, what's their religion, all that kind of stuff matters when you're trying to be serious.
What's your long term goal?
Let's-
What's your short term goal?
Let's touch on this one. Let's touch on this one. This is a big one right here. What about negative influence from the baby daddy or the baby mama?
Woo! Oh, that goes back to what I was saying. Like,
So you're saying negative some influence from them on who you date?
Yes.
Yeah.
because again, when kids, they get excited when Miss what's her name come around.
Yeah.
So
and they go back home and they tell mama,
Yeah.
"Oh, we watched the movie and Miss what's her name pop popcorn and
Right.
she
But
made cookies."
I experienced
Right.
that firsthand. Okay.
So that's a whole scenario that's
Yeah.
gonna go
So
down.
Yeah.
I was dating this chick. We have been dating for a good years. You know what I'm saying? So, she was honoring my daughter. She was very friendly and, doing things financial, different things like that. So, of course, when she go home, like I said, well, little girls different from little boys, so y'all got it made.
Not in that sense, they're not too different.
Well,
Honestly,
listen,
they're not.
go home, she all excited, Miss So-and-so did this, we were doing this, we were doing that, we were doing that. Okay, next time I get her, okay, you rhyme Miss So-and-so, and you like a total different kid. And she was like, did you do something to her? I'm like, I ain't do nothing to her. I'm not even I just feel that we doing the same thing we usually do. So she was like, okay, well let me have a conversation with her. Okay, I mean, cool. So she takes it, goes, walks off and have a conversation with her. And she was like, we're not friends no more. She was like, I like you, but my mama said I can't be your friend. What?
Ooh.
I said,
Negative.
what?
That's negative influence.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, why not? Like, she ain't beating on you. She ain't disrespectful. Like, why she can't be your friend? But at the same time, you going home bragging about what Miss So-and-so did and all this. Now you like, okay, I'm tired of hearing about this. So like, no more of that. Right.
But
Yeah.
that right there is
Yeah.
almost where you need to have a conversation with her mama.
Ain't gonna
right?
matter, bro. That don't matter.
That-
That does not matter.
Especially
He married. He don't understand.
He don't understand.
He don't understand that
Bro,
part.
it ain't that easy, man. It's not that easy.
We pray you don't even have to deal with that.
We gonna keep praying for you. Stay together, okay? Cause boy,
Let's stay.
But you saying like so I have a stepson and then I talk to his father. So it's so what are you talking about?
me, you ain't finna go down that road no more this season, okay?
It wasn't always like that. That took time.
No,
It wasn't like that
we
from the
never
start.
had we never had no animosity
Right.
ever.
But
right?
but in that situation,
and
Stacy can talk to her ex.
yeah, she could talk to him, but it was never any animosity.
Right,
And then her ex-husband was married before, and then so she had to deal with
His new
His
wife.
baby
His new
mama.
wife.
exes, yeah, and they never had any. she used to keep his other son with Christian, right? So it's the people.
It's the people, yeah.
He's dealing with, right? It can work out.
And
then, but also,
see, a lot of times it's people, they got all that built up anger,
right? They still want you.
They still mad.
Yeah.
But also it depends
Right.
on the type of person you are too, because if you was that type of dude that was being disrespectful to his son and stuff like that, like you didn't give him no reasons to even come at you anyway. Okay, but like you said, with women it's different because literally, okay, it's over. You don't want it to be over. You still got the kid. Okay, you still want this joint, happy little family. You can't have it like that. Now the kid coming home bragging about your new woman.
Yeah.
Now you looking at all the happiness that y'all used to have. Oh no, bro.
Yeah.
Stay married.
So let's give some advice for our fans who may be watching this, right? Let's give some advice. You know, I think, you know, a good idea, this is just a suggestion, you know, put the feelers out. Put the feelers out to your kid. If you're thinking about dating somebody, you're thinking about getting serious with somebody, just ask them, you know, what do you think about such and such or this person, you know, and see what they have to say. You know, I think that's a, you know, really good strategy in trying to, and it includes those kids too, right? It includes those kids, and they may appreciate, okay, daddy's thinking about me when, you know, and having those conversations. Hey, how do you feel about dad, you know, dating possibly, you know, and see what they say.
Mine told me I can't.
For real?
They did.
Yeah. See, and they'll tell you what they feel. You know?
Ain't nobody.
They say I can't get married. They say I can't.
You know?
I got to be at their beck and call. I guess.
And some kids will want that.
But,
you know?
yeah, but like I said, girls are very, you know, sad. Cause I asked my daughters, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm dating this lady, and they asked a bunch of questions, and then they were like, I don't know about that one, daddy. And I'm like, well, nah, but you know, she like, you know, let me see what she look like.
Yeah.
Like literally, like, oh, well, she cute, daddy, but I don't know, she a little crazy. And I be like, I mean, she all right. But then when it happens, I be like, maybe I should have listened.
You know, and some decisions like that, it takes discernment, right? You know, and you gotta have the gift of discernment.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have that discernment. You know, so you know, talk to your potential mate. You know, another piece of advice I would say is talk to your potential mate. You know, see, you know, like I said, have those hard conversations. You know, and see how they feel. And it may be a situation where you, after having those tough conversations, you may say, you know what, this is something we may not need to proceed with. What you got?
So should we discuss the potential mate with the ex?
That's not necessary.
Because if we're giving advice and suggestions, kind of
Move it out to make it peaceful.
Should we say,
I'm
hey,
dating so-and-so, and I'm gonna introduce you.
And she
I've been dating so-and-so for a certain period of time, and we getting serious, and I want to introduce the kid. Should they be included?
I guess it depends on your relationship with your ex. Like, are y'all cordial?
Yeah, exactly. You got to be cordial.
It's probably like 1 out of 10 exes is good with each other. The other 9, it's a no-go. Right. It's not a free zone.
Right. So, but I do feel that's important. I do really feel that's important, and I think that's.
Should we consider?
And we kind of talked about this in one of our old episodes. Like, you need to have a conversation with the ex.
So
you know?
are you ready to do? Could you do something like that?
And I'm speaking like
on you, like
right now.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not ready for that.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like when you talking about, if we talking about younger kids, right? Under that threshold, right? If we talking about younger kids, should you say, hey, I've been vetted for like 7 months.
Right.
And, you know, we like each other. We trying to progress.
Do you think your sons would go back and say?
Oh, they definitely. They definitely go.
So they telling on you.
No, they're just being kids. They're just being kids.
Yeah, they're just being kids.
One thing you don't want to do is have your kids keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Right.
But are your kids old enough to where you can say, hey, you know, I'm dating her or whatever, but you don't necessarily have to go and just
tell your mama. That don't work. That don't work.
It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out.
Because, you know, like, let's say your kids
it comes out.
Let's say your sons was like 15 and 16. Right?
At that age, yeah.
You can probably tell them.
You can tell them.
They probably ain't even gonna think about it. They ain't gonna go over there and talk about it anyway.
Right.
But now your son's what, 11?
My oldest is 11. And
my daughter 10.
Braden is 8. You know,
Oh, yeah,
so I'll tell you a
8-year-old
situation.
gonna run it.
I'll tell you a situation. I was playing in a tournament, a cornhole tournament, and I invited some friends out, and one of my female friends came out, and she came out on her. You got one? Oh, you said you want one? Those spiders? Yeah, Can-Am. So she came out on hers, right? And then we were out there, we were talking, and the boys, they were like intrigued by the bike or whatever. So she was like, you wanna ride? And she asked both of them they want to ride. So of course they just hopped on, right? You know, she got on. And man,
I know you
next thing I know, oh, you let the boys ride on a motorcycle?
Yeah.
So they gonna tell it.
I know as soon as you dropped them out, what it was, about 5-10 minutes?
It was the next morning. It was
Right. It didn't take long at all.
So they gonna tell, you know.
yeah.
But they're being innocent though, right?
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't put your kids in a position where it's like, oh, I can't say
You
this, I
have to
can't
be
say.
careful around
It's that
kids,
excitement
man.
factor.
Yeah.
Man.
Right.
Like it's new. It's like, oh, they're intrigued.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's completely innocent and harmless. They mean nothing by it.
Right.
Maybe it's a question. So how important is the proper introduction of the new mate to the kid?
How important?
How important?
It's very important.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very important.
What I mean, what I'm saying is, like, I feel like it should be if somebody that's gonna be around for a minute, like you gotta give that kid that proper introduction to let this person know really how important this person is to you.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say, hey, this Samantha, no, we kicking it. No, you gotta be like, okay, this is Miss Samantha, this is what she do, she got a son, or if she got kids, this, that. Like you gotta get a whole 9 years to kids, to give kids a chance to really like, okay, well, you know what, and then let them make their own choice whether or not, cause like some people, they be like, well, on Dane, what's the name, and he gonna be around a lot, so try not to do nothing to piss him off, or something like that.
Figure out what your criteria is.
Yeah.
And then you can, you know
Go
what I'm saying,
from
once they
there.
meet that, then you introduce them to the kid.
Yeah. It's very important that you have all those factors in place. And I think, when I have the, advice up and everything like that, it's very important for us to know ourselves too. Like we have to know ourselves as individuals. That person has to know themselves. Because when you're coming together and there are kids involved, it's going to take two whole individual people to make that situation work. Because there's a lot of factors that come into that. So spiritual, your health, your finances, make sure all that stuff is in place, because all the other stuff that could possibly come, that's just going to be distractions. So it's like you need to be solid within yourself. So good topic, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Good topics. I think we're at the segment where we can do Ask Bro Code.
Ask
Bro
Ask
Code. So Rico, why don't you do the honors today?
All right, let's go with, I like number 4 since it's the same color as I have.
Number 4.
No.
I just know.
All right, how do men deal with a woman that has a low sex drive?
Ooh.
Cheat. No.
That came with
You dirty dog.
Dr. Cool.
My bad.
Oh man, aren't there some foods out there? Like there's some foods that are.
You gonna try to get something to stimulate them?
You can, right? I think there's like aphrodisiacs that you can. Nah, I ain't doing all that now.
One thing.
You just said,
We do worse than No, I did not. Whoa, wait a minute, man.
That is not no Merry Christmas.
Close my lid, man.
You know what? I would say that depends on how high yours is. Okay, what I mean by that is if she has a low sex drive and you tired all the time and you ain't really want it like that, then you should be able to deal with it, because that gives you a break, really, to the fact that you don't have to be, at attention, doing adult activities all the time. Your body can rest, your mind can rest, because, with adult activity it takes a lot of energy depending on the person.
So basically you're saying how you deal with that is you look at that as kind of relief. You don't have to be at attention all the time?
It depends on how high yours is.
But the question is, like, if you are high and your woman is low, how do you deal with it?
So then if mine is high, if hers is low, then we're gonna have a conversation. Okay? Listen, because at the end of the day, doing this dating phase, or if y'all married or whatever, you knew what you signed up for. Okay, my drive was high then. That might have attracted you. You got to the point now you feel like, okay, I got them locked, so I can just chill. No, we can't do that. Well, that's where some of the issues come in at.
But I'll be honest with you, man. That's where a lot of relationships go wrong.
Right.
People got to realize it's not going to always be the way it was when it started. People grow older, so things change.
But listen, the older you grow, you got to also take in consideration. Listen, okay. You still have that. What attracted you to that person is still attracted to that. Okay, so like I'm trying to stay, not get PG on this, but if you used to jumping in the back seat or doing stuff while we driving and stuff like that, all this excitement. Now, when you tired or when you just don't feel like doing it just because you don't feel like doing it, I'm still looking for you to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the excitement is still there for me. So just because it went down for you, don't mean that basically I should suffer for that.
Right.
So at the same time, we're gonna have a conversation. Okay, I'm noticing, it's not the way it used to be. What's going on? Are you not attracted to me anymore? Is it something that I'm doing wrong? Like, you have to ask questions like that.
Well, I think, the question, it's not high and then it went low. It's just like if it's low. So I think if it's low, women, and this has just been my experience, most women with low sex drives, they don't have a good relationship or a good example of sex, right?
Okay, yeah.
It was never good to them to begin with, so they just never got into it.
Right.
So I think when it comes to that, that's an easy conversation. Like, and of course you get to know that when you start getting to know a person, because you can tell, because most women, they're a little, especially
Verbal.
if they're attracted to you.
Verbal.
Right?
Right,
Women are pretty aggressive
Yeah.
with a man when they're attracted to them
Right.
and they're into them like that. But if they're not, and a man brings it up, and a woman kind of skates past it, and he brings it up again, and she does the same thing, then that's an opportunity, right?
Right.
So let's talk about it. Like, I brought up, XYZ a couple of
Yeah.
times. You just kind of, most of them, they've either potentially been SA'd or almost been SA'd.
Yeah. Yep.
SA'd?
Sexually
Yeah,
assaulted.
Yeah, sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to keep it PG.
Right.
That's PG. Word. That's
Adult
you
activity.
can say that.
Okay. But
Yeah,
or
thought he was
they
in a
just,
Mexican
they just
essay.
don't have a good fond memory of it. Maybe their first time was painful. Maybe it was with somebody who was selfish, didn't care about them or didn't care about
Now
themselves.
that's a lot of it.
That's right. It's a lot of it. And
Matter of
that's
fact,
what I'm saying.
listen,
Like
that's
when they
on my
have
show.
low sex drive.
That's gonna be on my show this weekend.
Yeah.
So the conversation has to be had because there's an opportunity to turn that around.
Yeah.
So then you can do things to kind of change that for them.
Right.
Courting them,
Yeah.
flowers, different aphrodisiacs. It can be more into like the intimate side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of
Oysters.
just straight into sex. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it can
Yeah.
be
Foreplay.
right. It can be
Yeah.
more.
That matters.
We can explore more the intimate side to see how excited they get if they, if they even get excited.
Right.
Because again, they have bad experiences. So
Yep.
they like, oh nah, this ain't for me.
I'm gonna answer this question, and I'm gonna assume that the low sex drive came over time. It wasn't like we started out with low sex drive. Most relationships, the sex is there, right? And then it may become low. It can become low for a man, but in this question, low. How does a man deal with low sex drive? So I'm gonna assume that it just went low all of a sudden. So for me, first thing I'm thinking, okay, it could be something medically. It could be something medically. So we need, hey, babe, let's go check this out. Let's see what's going on. It could be, it could find out you're diabetic or so. I don't know, but it's just
all this stuff like all this stuff like the food that we eat, the chemicals that we ingest. Because like now, like all of a sudden, people that are normally can have kids and stuff. It's like all of a sudden, all these women can't get pregnant.
Right.
Like, where does that come from? Right.
Right.
It's gonna be all these environmental factors and stuff that we doing and ingesting and every day.
Yeah.
That's causing issues. Low testosterone for men.
Exactly.
Low sperm count for men.
Yep.
Right. Women losing their urge or they can't get their stuff is not moisturized the
Right.
right way. So all this kind of stuff,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
All that kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I hear people say they trying to have kids, and I be like, trying? Like, I got 3 and I wasn't even trying.
Right. Like, you see how hard to get it because I wasn't even trying at all.
Right.
Like, what you mean? We been trying. You been trying. I don't get that.
Oh man, that was a really good question. Really good question. So I want to do something a little different this time, guys. It's holiday season.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's in the holiday spirit. People are taking time off, taking vacation. Let's do this. Let's do a good movie recommendation for our fans out there. So while they're off, they can watch a good movie.
Oh man,
Anybody got one?
Best Man Holiday, that's my favorite.
Best Man Holiday.
that's always the winner.
Okay.
That's definitely always one. I'm gonna give you a throwback, man. Home Alone.
Oh, that was my favorite.
Home Alone is
one of my favorites.
Is always
The
a classic,
first one.
man. It'll keep you
Yes.
laughing.
Yes.
So it gotta be a Christmas one. I would.
It don't have to be Christmas. It don't have to be
No,
Christmas.
this is Christmas. So we're gonna do a Christmas movie. A pretty cool movie. We watched actually the last 2 Christmases. It's called Jingle Jangles.
Okay.
It's with what's
Ludacris?
No. It's on Netflix. Jingle Jangles.
Eddie Murphy.
No. What's the
that's
guy
a good one,
with
the
the
new one,
lazy eye? The
yeah.
actor with the lazy eye.
Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker,
right?
yeah.
So he's actually a toy maker, right? And what happens is he makes a lot of different things, and then one of his best inventions gets stolen from him, and the other toy maker takes it. He's been making crap all the time, and then he blows up. Right, so it's a good one. It's on Netflix. Jingle Jangles is what I'm saying. It's all black cast. It's pretty good.
Gotcha.
Really good.
I had one on the tip of my tongue, and I really can't remember the name of it, but it's out now on Netflix. I think it's Leave Country Behind or
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind.
Oh boy, don't make them folks watch that.
I'm going to recommend that.
I fell asleep on that.
I'm going to recommend that.
I fell asleep on it.
I don't know how.
Oh man, really good movie. If you can watch it, it was recommended by our ex-president Obama. He had a lot to do with it, but it has some messages in there. You can decode it if you can. I got to go back and watch it again, but I watched the TikTok.
Watch it again because I was
and yeah, it's a really good movie.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
This is for the adults. Trading Places with Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
That's a classic.
That is a classic.
And it actually does occur during Christmas holidays, New Year's.
That's right.
Trading Places. That's all. I always watch that one.
Yep. Facebook, Instagram, it's been real. One last thing, do not forget to subscribe. Click the button. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
One time, we're out. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
From Bronco.